extracting the total data from the web. Web in the sense websites. What we can say that area source. What we have to tell. Bibliography, isn't it? Bibliography, reference, bibliography, and bibliography. The total data for the reference purpose we used, we can say that from the web data we can say that, and a bibliography. It's a new term of the reference stylist like that. Just yesterday we discussed all those things. What is the today our topic is belongs to the bibliometrics. What is the meaning of the bibliometrics? For what purpose we are going to use for the bibliometrics? I will tell you in brief. The bibliometrics is nothing but the information, the metrics of particular article, metrics or measures of that particular write-up. That we can say that if the researcher is going to write an article. Yesterday we discussed about the academic paper, peer review article, or regarding scientific paper. If the researcher is going to produce one research paper or one academic paper or scientific paper, how many people are going to use? How many people are going to utilize? How many people are going to cite that particular article? How many people, that particular author is produced how many papers in the year? What it is citation style? So citation, how many people are they cited? And what is his general impact factor? This all are concluded in this bibliometrics. What is the citation? What is the impact factor? That we are going to discuss. Citation means how many people are utilized your work, your research work, or your academic work. If before going to utilize, before going to use, I can say that I used that particular article, particular data from the so and so Professor Sudarshan Rao, or Professor Lakshman Rao, or Professor Chandrasekhar Rao, or Professor Dr. Saroja, or whatever it may be. I used that particular data from those particular article because I cited. I'm giving the reference. I'm giving respect to the so and so researcher because I cited those articles. Otherwise, it will goes like a plagiarism. They will put into the penalize, isn't it? So there is a lot of things which we are going to learn in the bibliometric. What is the meaning of the bibliometrics? The research defined, we can say that systematic inquiry. You take any research methodology must follow some methods. Successfully after completion of our research, report writing, data collection, analysis, and all those things, we are getting right result. That right result means our research output. How many people are utilizing? What is the measurement? What is the statistics we are going to learn? Means that we can say that bibliometric. Here, the bibliometric is the relationship between the library and information science is, and also comes to the metrics, bibliometrics. Library and information science, it will give the information about the sources and comes to the documents, comes to the various information where it is available, how we are going to find out, how we are going to serve to the researcher or academician or teacher or learner or whatever it may be. But here comes to the bibliometric is nothing but the biblio is a book. Metrics is nothing but a statistics, or we can say that measure, that we can say quantity of the data. Quantity of the data. Bibliometrics means biblio is equal to a book. Metrics is nothing but a statistics, or we can say that measurement, or we can say that in our language we can say that quantitative. That this much of metrics data, that we can say that in the bibliometrics. Among the different research method. We can say that bibliometrics is a quantitative techniques adapted by the library information science. We can say that bibliometric. We can say that. And comes to the you know why we can say that quantity, why we are not considered into the qualitative method means here the statistics are in a quantitative, or we can say that measure, it comes under the quantity. In a research methodology, qualitative and quantitative methods are considered. We are going to find in the things of bibliometrics. Isn't it? Find in the things of bibliometrics. That we can say that bibliometrics. We can say metrics. We can find. We can learn by the bar charts, by the pie charts, by the table about tabular data. Sometimes we can say that various graphs. From that we can know the very well about the statistics, or data which contain the numerals. Yesterday we had discussed about the Arabic numerals. The same thing, the data which is going to be are considered in the form of Arabic numerals. That's why we said the quantitative data and the statistics of the data of those particular document, of those particular book, of those particular article, what we wrote, what we produced from the researcher, what investigator is produced by in his research work. That we can say that library librometric, or we can say that bibliometrics. In that, what is the meaning of the bibliometric? Already I spoke to you. Actually, before going to bibliometrics, already S.R. Ranganathan, he told in his work in the year of 1930s or 1940s, librometrics. Librometrics, what is the meaning of the librometrics? We have to know that in the librometry is presented in the form of 1948. At the time, ASLIB conference was held Leamington. He said there's a need to develop the subject on lines of biometry, econometry, and psychometry. And here I want to tell you one thing. Bibliometric means, I'll tell you one more thing. Just we are discussing about the, always I'm telling in the form of biblio means book, metrics means in the form of statistics, or in the form of measures, in the form of quantity. And one more thing we can say that the economic social science methodology. What is the economic social? Economics in the form of financial, in the form of statistics, in the form of financial assistance. We can say that it's a form of socialized science methodology. Socialized science methodology. That's what we can say that you take every area is having one science. That means socialized or sociological science methodology. We can apply further in the form of the bibliometrics. Librometry in the area of 1948, S.R. Ranganathan mentioned that we have to learn in the form of library and information science, econometry, and psychology, and all are it comes to the librometry. In the year of 1948 only, he said in the 1948 librometry, he mentioned his conference which is located at the ASLIB conference. And come to the bibliometrics, Alan Pichard in his article 1968, Statistical Bibliography or Bibliometrics, he published a Journal of Documentation in the year of 1968. At that time, he is the first person. He is expressed that we can say that on a mention of bibliometrics, the relationship between scienceometric and informatics. What is the meaning of scienceometric? We are discussed about the bibliometrics, we are discussed about the librametrics, we are discussing about the scientometrics, we are discussing about the informametrics. What it is metrics, we are telling that, you take in a scientometric, you take in the informametric, or whatever it may be, it in the form of metrics, in the form of statistics, in the form of measures, in the form of quantitative data of sciences. What science? Already I spoke to you. It deals with evaluation of factors like scientific progress, or level of scientific development, social relevance, science of science, and science policy, or sometimes econometrics for focus on the study of economic factors, economic indicators, economic theoretical, all aspects relating to the economics, that we can say that. That means science related to the scientometric is related to the scientific progress, scientific development, scientific level of progression. That in the sense, in the scientific area, how many papers are produced? What is the development in that area? How much of literature is coming that sciences? Comes to the economics also the same thing. Metrics in the sense, in that particular discipline, in that particular subject, what are the development, what are the aspects, what are the latest techniques are producing from those particular area. We can say that scientific scientometrics, econometrics. When it comes to the informatics in the sense, how much of the information is producing in the form of statistics. What is the information? The information may be in the form of data, the information may be in the form of books, the information may be in the form of the records, journals, articles, in the form of various e-resources, in the form of various e-sources, that all are considered, and we are going to statistics, we are going to quantitative data in produced from those particular information source. We can say that is a information sciences. We can say that in the area informatics, in the form of informatics. The same thing, another term we can use, the measurement studies which focus on the information productivity. That's what information productivity means. How much of the information is produced to those particular subject, we can say that. In scientometric, what we express that scientific development in that particular thing, scientific aspects of those particular thing, scientific, what are the scientific latest development produced in that particular. The same thing, the information productivity of those particular area, we can say that it's information statistics. How much of the data is produced? Do you know that every 2 hours, or we can say that every 24 hours, whatever the information is producing of online, we can say that it's a double. It's a double. Whatever the information is producing today, every 2 hours, somebody says that it's doubling. Or 24 hours, we can say that it's doubling. Suppose in the internet, every 2 hours, we are producing that data is 24 gigabytes or whatever it may be. In every 2 hours, 24 into 2. 48 gigabytes may produce those particular 2 hours. 2 hours. That means these much of the information are producing so and so. Statistics is required. How can you say that 2 GB or 2 gigabytes, 2 petabytes? How can you say? We measured it. We measured it in the form of statistics. That's why we can say that it's a informatics, isn't it? That's why we can say that informatics. That we can say that mathematical way also we can say that statistical application or mathematical application of those particular subjects, librametrics, economics or mathematics, or we can say that statistical application we are applying librametrics, bibliometrics, scientometrics. and informetrics all are we are applying for. That's what the definition they mentioned. The application of mathematical method to the books or other media of communication. Here, the bibliometric he said, the application of mathematical method to book and other media of communication. Other media of communication means one article may produced from my authorship, or another article may produced from this so and so. Legendary persons, legendary people, we can say that that's all our mathematical application to be applied. Mathematical methods that we can say that statistical tools, statistical method we applied. That we can say that bibliometrics comes to the utility. What is the meaning of the utility? We need a method of the study. The advantages may have for in the bibliometric, and even disadvantage also is having. So comes to the bibliometric is a new technique is applied to topic from the political communication to the new media. And another, provide a chance to the information scientists and communication researcher to collaborate the provide to area of common interest. Such, what here intention is the information, whatever the information we are measuring, the information we are, mathematical method we are applying, it's all applicable to the all disciplines of the areas. Not only just we are discussing about the librometrics, we are discussing about the scientometrics, we are discussing about the uh, econometrics or infometrics. We are not only this metrics. Any area may apply, any area may occur in this area of bibliometrics. And the scope of this bibliometrics, we can say that bibliometric cover literature in the document, published and unpublished, print or other media follows. Bibliometrics, we can say that just now we discussed about only for the book or only for the journal or only for the published data. And here they mentioned published and unpublished documents or other media of communication also. It covers in the form of bibliometrics. They mentioned form of the books, journal, article, thesis, and multimedia. And body of the responsible of the productions, transactions, transmissions, distribution of the documents like authors, institutions, research institutions are covered. Subject may cover single discipline or multidiscipline. Our author may be single author, multiple author, or the language of the documents of single or multiple languages, or state of publication, frequency of the publication, date of the publication, size of the document, amount of information, place of publication, the distribution, and all comes to the scope of the librometric. That means it's a bibliographical information we are producing. Bibliographical, you take one example of one thesis, you take example of the one article, you take example of the one book. Here the scope only mentioned is the book information. What about the article? We can say that the article, we can say that who is the author for that article. The article covers in the which area they covered. What is the value number? What is the uh, issue number? And which month it's published in which journal? And comes to the what is the footnote? And comes to the what are those differences? Whether this particular article are single author, double author, whether English language or other languages, whether it is what is the different styles they used, what is the form of the body, when it was published means year of publication, value number, issue number, and all those things covered for the bibliometrics. And classification. What is the classification means here? Descriptive study or behavioral study, we can say that. Now study of the bodies, documents that carry the information, or form of presentation, how he is going to published and which style they published in. That we can say that yesterday the report of thesis, just like how he is going to write the article, how he is going to write the book, or nature of information, or in how much of quantity of this particular information, whether that journal is having, that article is having 3 pages, 4 pages, 9 pages, or 20 pages, or that book may contain 300 pages, 400 pages, how many pages it may be covered, and the time frequency, how much of the time he is taken or utilized for that research output, or the frequency, how many of the studies are in those particular area, and origin and the geographical scatters and distribution. When we are going to write an article, it covers the scope of the study. We mentioned that this particular time it is required, or these particular the study, this particular time only we studied, or otherwise hours may it is the scope. This particular topic may cover this particular Telangana, this particular Hyderabad, this particular uh, India, or whatever it means. Sometimes we are going to write an article. Yesterday, I said, status of police professionals, employed police professionals, job job satisfaction or job status of police professions in Telangana. That means that geographical area is Telangana. Sometimes we may mention some job satisfaction of police professionals in South India. And that means that geographical area is may cover in a South area. At what we mentioned in the topic or scope of the topic, whether that particular area is covered or not, we have to check, isn't it? Behavior studies. Behavior studies is nothing but the one of the another bibliographical source of the those particular document we produced. Just I spoke to you. What is the price for the those particular article? What is the title? What is the language they used? And how many pages? And what is the language and price? That means book, or whether it is containing ISBN number or not, how many pages is having, and all, or it may considered in the form of behavioral studies, that we can say that the bibliographical history of those particular document, or which subject they may cover, place, various style it may cover, isn't it? And comes to the even citation also they mention, translation, and all it may counts. Application of bibliometrics. What is the use for the, where we are going to use for the application means the bibliometric study aims to improve the bibliographical controls because of bibliometrical analysis. That we can say that here how much of the data is produced. Just I said that what I spoke to you in informatics, how much of the information produced, we can say that informatic. The same thing bibliometrical bibliometrics, where it will applicable means here, how much of the data when we are going to produce, on what basis we can say that in the measure, one of the things is bibliographical data. What is the bibliographical data? The data is containing information about the one particular document. We can say that is the bibliographical data. Document, it may be book document, it may be article documents, it may be thesis documents, it may be e-form document, it may be in various means of communication they mentioned. The same thing here, whether that bibliographical information statistics we are going to find. That's what they said, where we are going to applicable for the bibliometrical data. Bibliometrical data, bibliometrics, where we are applying bibliographical data, we are applying for that. And a major area of bibliometrics, we can say that study determine the statistics of literature. Statistics of the literature in the sense, how much of the data is produced, how much of the literature is produced, how much of bibliographical data is produced, That we are going to statistics or measures, mathematical method we are applying, isn't it? Mathematical data here we are applying. Relating to the country of the origin, subject, form, language, distribution, document, as well as their incidents of translation, and these all are be considered. And bibliometric study derives a subject relationship that suggests the desirable general patterns. We can say, secondary service coverage also it may cover in the bibliometrics. The citation of the data analysis and volume of publication. That's what the article here what it is contained, of that particular article. When we are producing that article, citation and volume, what is how much of the volume of the data here, how much of the volume means, and how many pages, and what is the volume number, citation and bibliographical data also it may cover in the bibliometrics. And the bibliometric analysis helps the comparative assessment of the secondary service. Data also helps some management decisions. For example, primary and secondary journals, and citation analysis also we have to find the subject relationship, and also some limitations also is there. Bibliometric does not include informal publication communication. Therefore, scientific development cannot be predicted properly. Here, of course, there is a good things also is there. The limitations also is there. Sometimes we can say that self-citation also is a wrong for that. That we have to take the proper things we have to mention. What is the self-citation means? Already I produced one particular research article or academic article or scientific paper. Next time also I'm going to focus, I'm going to write on that particular area. What we have to mention is Dr. Ravi Kumar already wrote on that particular article. The same thing we have to mention. But many of the people feels that, already it's my article only, no need to take the citation. No need to take the citation. So that's why he writes the same thing. That is my own original work, no? No need to take the citation. That's why they wrote the same thing. But it's a blender. We have to even own article also. We have to take the cite the above author where we are getting the information, or otherwise we'll get it may come into the plagiarism. It may come into the penalize. We are going to penalize. So there will be majority of the things are going to help you take any discipline or any area or any study or whatever it may be. Some good things also is there. Same thing, some limitations also will available for that, isn't it? Did you understand what I'm telling? చెప్పండి.
ఎస్ సార్, అర్థమవుతుంది సార్.
అర్థమవుతుందా?
ఎస్ సార్.
కొంచెము ఏమవుతుందంటే దీస్ ఆల్ ఆర్ applied for the metrics of the what we are producing the article. See, I'm telling openly, bibliometrics comes to the Broadford law and all those things. What we are producing, that article already we discussed yesterday, whether standard article or scientific article, whatever it may be. These articles, how many people are cited? Cited means how many people are used. If used, how can we say that? How can we can say that these people are used? Statistics, based on the statistics, we can say that these many people are cited in your article. That means your article is good, isn't it? Comes to the impact factor. What is the impact factor? Impact factor may not applicable for one particular article. It may applicable for the total journal of that particular article. So we can say that the brand. That we can say that brand. You take example the Indian Journal of Life and Information Science. In that journal, I published one article of Dr. Ravi Kumar Seguni. So what it is contain? What is the impact factor of those particular journal? It's already automatically applicable for that library Ravi Kumar. But the total articles may publish how many 20 publications or 30 publications or 10 publications are applicable that impact factor. But citation is different for the individual person. Citation is a different individual person because I know highest number of citation of those particular articles means genuine or standardized. It's a replica to the others. Oh, this particular article is good. We may take the data of those particular published article, but we should have view acknowledge. We can say that acknowledge in our language. We can say that. What is that acknowledge means? So and so data I took from those particular article. What is those article? We have to mention. We have to give the proper way of the response, proper way of the respect to the cited article. Then only we'll give. These are the styles of the various methods. Here, first thing we have to going to discuss about the scientometric. See, scientometric. Who is the first person is a Browning in the 1977. He published Hungary and currently from the Amsterdam. First, he is the person. He said the scientometric. The word he introduced. Scientometric is a part of the sociology of science. Sociology of the science, and it is application of science policy making. That means what it is in the area, whatever the science policies, science discipline developments, make a policy in the form of sociologically. That means generalized. Sociologically means generalized. Scientific policy is required. Scientific development is required. So how it is going to possible means by the metrics we can say that, by the measurements we can say that, by the quantitative methods we can say that it's a scientometrics. A scientometric who is introduced 1973 Browning. They may ask the question and also some another person, Nalbnow and Mulch and Co. that define the term subfield which applies quantitative method. Here I said always I'm telling about the quantitative. Here they mentioned one particular famous person which is applied quantitative methods of the study in the field of science and information science. Science and information in the process. Science and information productivity. This we can say that in the scientific productivity. We can say that scientific productivity. How much of the science productivity came, or how much of the science data, science literature, or science data, how much of the data is produced in the form of metrics, in the form of quantitative. That we can say that in the scientometric. Here we have to read now which year, who is the person is introduced so and so metric, that you have to remind it, because you are going to write in a competitive examination, either in a set, either in a net, or Telangana Public Service Commission or Gurukula, whatever it may be. Such important things, a year of introduce, who is the introduced, is all may cover in your coming examinations. So you have to make seriously concentrate on those particular issues. And comes to the informatics. What is the informatics? Just already I spoke to you. The same thing again. I'm according to the Brooks, the fourth term informatics is the first process Otto Nakow of West Germany, proposed by Otto Nakow of West Germany in the year of 1979, FID conference. The first conference on bibliometrics and theoretical aspects of information retrieval held at Diepenbach, Belgium. The term informatics is the term of bibliometrics and scientometrics, hence promoting the new name, it was decided to use the informatics. What it is, informatics is nothing but the statistics or quantitative data of information, or quantitative data are produced those particular year, those particular duration. We can say that informatics. Who are going to produce this, who announced this? The word means that, Brook, 1979, and proposed the first person, Otto Nachke, in the West Germany in the 1979. So these type of names you have to remind, isn't it? Now here in the definition also I mentioned same thing, the study of quantitative aspects of the information. Quantitative aspect, here I can say that another word, the statistics of information of those particular, in the form of books, in the form of journal, in the form of the record, in the form of various or print form of the resources or sources may come into the informatics. That's what they mentioned here. Not only just records or bibliographies, any social group, not just scientists or incorporate, utilize or external may studies in the measurements of the information. Measurements of the information, we can say that, informatics, isn't it? Comes to the webometrics. What is the meaning of webometrics? I said earlier, bibliography. Bibliography. The same thing, what is the meaning of the webometrics? Means just now we learned, we seek the information about the librometry, scientometry, bibliometry, and infometry, and comes to the bibliometry means whatever the information we are seeking, we are getting, are produced from the various websites, various webs, in the form of the quantitative, we can say that, bibliometric. Bibliometric. That you can may ask the question, sir, usually informatics or bibliometrics both are same, no? Yes, some partially we can say that, because informatics may come into the print and electronic. That we can say that books, journals, or thesis, records, and in the form of utilized by the scientists, and unpublished, published, all it may come into the informatics. But bibliometrics is only particularly the information which is being produced by the on websites. That only we are going to measure. That only we are going to quantitative. That only we are going to statistics it. That we can say that in bibliometrics. Of course, today, most of the information we are getting, I spoke to you just not even half an hour before. I said that every 2 hours, with whatever the data is producing every day or every 2 hours, is going to doubling. It's going to doubling. That means that much of the data is produced, isn't it? Where we are producing, which data we are going to measure, which data we are going to statistics means by the online sources, by the online data, where we are getting, by the websites we are getting, by the Google we are getting, by the various search engines we are getting. The total data we are accessing from the website, that we can say that bibliography, isn't it? And here we can say that bibliographical class. What is the bibliometric class? Means Bradford law, Giptos law, and Loctus law. What it is actually, what it is contain that information, that the three things you have to remind it. Till now, did you understand that what I spoke to you? అర్థమైందండి నేను చెప్పింది ఏమన్నా?
అర్థమైంది సార్.
బిబ్లియోమెట్రిక్స్ అంటే చెప్పండి ఎవరైనా. తెలుగులో చెప్పినా there is no problem for me, even తెలుగు also.
వెబ్ నుంచి మనము చూసి చేసేది వెబోమెట్రిక్స్.
ఓకే, గుడ్. దాన్ని ఏమంటే మీరు కరెక్టే చెప్పారు. స్లైట్ చిన్న చేంజెస్ ఉంది. ఎట్లా అంటే వెబ్ నుంచి తీసుకొచ్చిన డాటాని వి హావ్ టు మెజర్, దాన్ని కొలవాలి, మెజర్ ఇట్, కొలవాలి. స్టాటిస్టిక్స్, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That we can say that bibliometrics. What about the informatics?
అది బుక్ నుంచి కానీ బుక్ నుంచి చేసే అది స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ చేసేదాన్ని ఇన్ఫర్మేటిక్స్ అంటారు.
Not only book, it may contain whatever the information is having, like in books, journals, records, and it will thesis, dissertations, and various.
హార్డ్ కాపీ ఏదైనా కానీ ఇన్ఫర్మేటిక్స్.
That's a good hard copy or soft data, whatever. Whatever the bibliometrics.
బిబ్లియోమెట్రిక్స్ మెజర్ చేసేది.
అది which measure? Bibliometrics.
బుక్.
Okay. Bibliographical.
బుక్ ని మెజర్ చేసేది. స్టాటిక్స్. బిబ్లియో ఓన్లీ బుక్ సార్.
ఎందుకు ఆర్టికల్ జర్నల్ ఆర్టికల్స్ ఉంటుందా బిబ్లియో ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్?
ఉంటుంది.
That means what about the data which is belongs to the bibliographical data are produced either in a book or journal article or thesis in the form of that we can say that we are going to measure, we are going to statistics it, we are going to apply the statistics means mathematical method we are going to apply.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. And comes to the laws. What is the meaning of the laws? For what purpose we are going means here? Broadford law. What is the meaning of Broadford law? Who is the Broadford means here? It's nothing but the law of scattering. Law of scattering means whatever the information is producing, we can say that scattering of any literature, scattering of the data, scattering of the information. We can say that law of scattering produced Broadford law. Who is he means he is the one of the British bibliographer, a Broadford interpreter of the UDC, Universal Decimal Classification. Here that we can say that law of scattering, exactly what the meaning means here, how much of the literature is producing, we can say that which area, how much of the literature is producing means what he selected. The Broadford law, what he selected in those particular area, how much of the literature is producing, how much of the data is producing. Suppose my topic is management of the medical college libraries. My topic belongs to the medical college libraries. How much of the data is producing means in those particular year, in those particular duration of the research work, that Broadford says that the Broadford law. This particular year, that we can say that here they mentioned exactly those periodicals which may carry 4 references in 1 year in a particular subject. Isn't it? 4 references. Those periodicals, one journal or one periodicals carry 4 references in 1 year in a particular subject. One subject may contain of that particular periodical is having 4 references in the 1 year. Another one is 2 or 4 references in the same year, same subject, one particular subject, one particular year. How many? 2 to 4 references. Or another one is 1 or fewer references, that means less than 2. 1 or fewer references in one particular year, in one particular subject. That means here we can say that in one particular year, one particular subject, that you take example of the medical library and information science, in particular year, how much of the data is produced for a reference purpose, for site purpose, for we can choose those particular data. How much of the data that's what law of scattering. Law of scattering. That means literature, how much of the literature is produced. That we can say that, Bradford law. Isn't it? Comes to the Loctus law. In the year of 1926, Loctus was produced frequency of the publication. That means you take example of the, I said, medical professionals or medical libraries. Frequency of the publication. These particular year, how many articles produced? How many articles produced in 2 years or 3 years? And those particular selected period, we can say that, frequency of the publication, whether 2 articles published, or every 2 months 1 article published, or every 3 months 1 article published, or every 4 months 1 article published, or every half yearly. That means frequency of the publication, frequency of the literature are producing, frequency of the data are producing from those particular subject, from those particular area. That we can say that, law of Loctus law in the year 1926, he said, isn't it? The same thing here they mentioned in the page number 228. Wonderfully, he given the one statement. Loctus law found that productivity of scientific conformed to inverse the square law, such as that every 100 authors contributing 1 article. Here given a wonderful things. Just you have to check it. 228, second paragraph. 100 authors contributing 1 article. 25 will contribute 2 articles. 11 will be contribute 3 articles. Or 6 will be contribute 4 articles. Or observation for the authors, the single article will be, and that means we have to do the cumulative study. That means 100 authors contributed 1 article, means here each author is producing 1 article. 25 will produce 2 articles, means 25 into 2, 50 articles. And 11 authors will contribute 3 articles. That means, we have to do the cumulative study. And here they mentioned single article were 57.9%, chemical abstract 6.8, contributor so and so, just like that. That what it is actually means, the frequency for every 3 months, for every 1 year, for every 2 years, the author is producing how many papers. That is the intention. That is the main law of Loctus law. Comes to the GIFT law. What is the GIFT law? Deals with the scatter of publication and author productivity. What is the scatter of publication? Whatever the published, whatever the productivity you produced, those particularly we can say that, social, our scientific productivity means, I said example of the medical professionals in medical libraries in Andhra Pradesh, medical libraries in Telangana. That productivity, author productivity of the pattern, scatter of the publication, author productivity, that means frequency of the word. Continuously, I'm using the evidence-based management literature, evidence-based information service. Means these evidence-based information of articles, how many are produced, how many are delivered, how many are published in those particular period. Because medical library data may produce a number, either 20 or 30 or 40 or whatever it may be. In those scientific productivity, in those scientific publication, how many are belongs to the evidence-based library information, medical library information science? How many authors are produced? Sometimes, evidence-based may be a part and parcel of the medical library information science, but it is a part and parcel of the medical library information science. But thing is, how many productivity of the same field we can say that, isn't it? Here they mentioned in the 229 citation 57, study 37, author 24, bibliography 19, many 18. That means these words are repeated, and we can say that in that that particular article, that documents, we can just the author productivity, or we can say frequency of those particular words in that, those particular text, those particular data, those particular published data, academic data, how much is published by those particular authors. We can say that, GIPS law, or along with that, price square root law, Garfield law, and many laws are there. And here I want to tell you one more thing, science citation index. What is the citation? I'll tell you later. Science citation. Citation is nothing but, I said, a reference purpose, a site purpose from the earlier, those who did it the same field or research or an article or an academic purpose or book purpose, or they may already published in those particular area. But now I'm going to do the related area, do the same area, or whatever it may be. I'm going to search for that, for seeking what he did it earlier, whether it is in the proper way he did it. Is there any law? I said, for the sake of review of literature, the same thing. Here, we are going to take some data, take the relevant data to our work. And while we are taking, we have to acknowledge those particular data we are taking from those particular data is a citation. What is the citation styles? One of the famous citation we can say that, citation index, do you know already very well where it is publishing, and what is the present name? These all are very important that you have to know very.
What is a citation and ఏంటి sir?
Citation ante ippudu cheppinde meeku. Citation ante just now I said, citation ante we are citing from the others. We are taking the data from the others, but we have to give proper acknowledge where we are cited that particular data.
Okay, sir.
Did you understand?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Tell me once again.
సైటింగ్ అంటే ఒక డేటా కలెక్ట్ చేసుకొని వాళ్ళ దగ్గర నుంచి పర్టికులర్ డేటా తీసుకున్నందుకు అది కరెక్ట్ గా సైట్ చేసేది సైటేషన్.
ఆ సైట్ అంటే ఏంటిది? వాట్ ఇస్ ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ సైట్?
సైట్ అంటే ఒక పర్టికులర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ సార్.
సైట్ మీన్స్ హియర్ we are taking those particular data. నాకు కావాల్సిన డాటాని నేను పలాని సోర్సెస్ నుంచి నేను తీసుకుంటున్నాను. పలాని సోర్స్ మీన్స్ వాట్స్ యువర్ నేమ్?
వాణి సార్.
Vani is produced those articles in the year of 2020. So title is so and so. I need those particular information from that particular article. So I have to mention. So Dr. Ravi Kumar Chegoni take the information from the Dr. Rani, article name, title name, value number, issue number, page number, how much of data you are citing. That we have to give the acknowledge. Acknowledge means we have to give a proper information. నేను ఈ పలానా దాంట్లో నుంచి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ తీసుకున్నాను, నా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ సో అండ్ సో పర్సన్ నుంచి తీసుకున్నాను. దట్ వీ కెన్ సే దట్ అ సైట్, దట్ వీ కెన్ సే దట్ గివ్ ప్రాపర్ acknowledgement to the author, acknowledgement to the right person. Isn't it? అట్లా ఇవ్వకుండా మీరు ఓన్ గా తీసుకున్నారనుకోండి, తీసుకుని ప్లాగరిజం అవుతుంది. సేమ్ డాటా when we are going to put into the plagiarism checker or put into the Google, they can say that this data is belongs to the so and so Rani, this data is belongs to the Vani, so and so data is belongs to the Begum, already published so and so article. It's become, isn't
Okay,
it?
sir. Okay.
That
Thank you,
that
sir.
we can say that. Okay. Comes to the science citation, it's having the science citation, social science citation, and permuter citation index. Many things are there. In the citation index, they have 5 parts. One is citation index and source index. And another 3 parts are patent index, permuter subject index, and corporate index. These all are part and parcel of the science citation index. And comes to the general citation report, means it's a part of science citation index. I said already, citation means here they cleared given proper information. Just 233. Just to check how often each journal is cited. How often means, and frequency of the those particular and a journal is cited by the authors. How many items is published? How many items is published? How many articles is published in those particular journal? How many chapters is published? Those particular, how many chapters is published those particular book, and how often each item is cited. How after each item is, each item in the sense article are citing by the others, or which is called by impact factor. And how often each item is cited during the year of publication, which is called immediate index. Those particular subject, how many articles are published in those particular year, in those particular index, we can say that those particular year, how many articles are publishing, how many articles are producing those particular year. And we can say that number of references of each journal published, and what journals and how references were distributed, publication year of these cited issues. These all are comes to the general citation index, or we can say that citation. Finally, impact factor. What I said, impact factor, to whom it will be applicable? Impact factor to whom we are applicable, Amma? Journal or article? Yeah, very good. Very
Journal.
good. Journal. Yeah, it's good. Very good. But the impact factor is a journal. It's not an article. When a journal is analyzed for the productivity of the total number of the items published by the journal, influenced by the number of times or number of times it is cited of those particular journal, those particular article, we can say that in impact factor. Impact factor is applicable for the journal only, not for the articles. Number of items to be published in those particular journal, and number of people may cited those particular items and journal, we can say that it's all are containing to the impact factor. Impact factor, if it is high, that means that journal, that already we can say that it's a brand. The journal is having a brand. This journal is, particular journal is having a standardized journal. Oh, good impact factor, these journals means whatever the published articles is having good. That means they are following standards. Number of people are citing those particular articles. Number of people are they citing their items, their articles, and downloading also. Isn't it? Downloading also. They will give even filters. They will say that Google Scholar, just you check if your data is in the Google Scholar, it will shows that how many articles are downloaded, how many articles are cited, how many articles view. That means chewed up views. Also, it comes to the statistics. Isn't it? If you observe or not, you take any one website, uh, you can check it. How many people are visited? When people are visited means automatically number will increase. Download also will shows the statistics, and now viewers. But all it gives the statistics. What it is statistics? I said the same thing here. We can say that in the part of the impact factor, in the part of the citation, in the part of the bibliometrics, in the part of the lectometrics, in the part of the broad formula, in the part of all are part and parcel of this a systematic metric, systematic mathematical methods we are applying. So based on that only we can say that these number of people are cited, these number of people are published, these number of people are cited, these number of times are downloaded, these number of number. We can say that it's a metrics. These all are metrics, mathematical method, isn't it? Today it is our class is bibliometric completed. Bibliometrics completed. Next to topic may research in the library information science, international level how it is. Today, I know, have you understand or my class, any doubts or any queries is there? Just you post me.
Sir, citation reference citation difference ఏంటి చెప్తారా?
Citation.
Reference citation.
Citation అంటే what you understand actually, tell me.
సైటేషన్ అంటే మనం ఏదన్నా ఆర్టికల్ రాసింది ఒకరి దగ్గర నుంచి చూసి తీసుకొని రాస్తాం కదా, వాళ్ళ పేరు మెన్షన్ చేసి రాసేదాన్ని సైటేషన్ అని అంటాము.
Yeah, good. What is the reference citation means? See, one particular article, one particular journal, or these particular items are at least referred by 2-3 people, or referenced by the 4 people or 5 people in those particular year, in those particular subject. We can say that reference cited articles. Cited means just only we can cite the data, isn't it? Whether it is useful or not. But reference here means properly you have to take. Why? Because we are mentioning that we are referred the data so and so, cited so and so, we mentioned in our data. We can say that a reference citation index. A general slight difference from Danklo. Citation just we are citing for that. If we mention the citing details by the reference, by the refer or not, isn't it? If we are going to refer your name, Rani or Vani, so and so data, so and so area, so and so article, so and so year, and all those things we are referring in our thesis, our article. Reference citation. Citation, general cited means just I cited. Thesis, you take example of the thesis. Each and every chapter ending having the references, but total thesis, total completion of our work ending, we can say that bibliography. Bibliography means just we cited the data. Reference citation means already the data which is we are taken from those particular article or title or it may be. If you are really working in somewhere, really you are working in the near places, the research institutions or whatever it may be, just go and see the simple difference you will get easily.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anyone?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye. Next class is there, no?
Yes, sir.
What is the class?
Academic library, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.